Hello guys, today we're going to have a look at a John Deere 990 baler, and what we're going to work on today is installing a little micro servo which will lift the pickup reel on the front of the baler here. So just be able to lift this up and down. This is quite a detailed model. Both of these side panels lift up, and you can see in there there's quite a bit of detail in the plastic there, but we might need to remove some of this and install servos that control the different parts of the baler in those panels, because that's a very useful place to have the servos. The baler is pretty big inside. It's large enough to house 2 bales. So because this baler is so big, I'm going to have it so that there's 2 bales in the baler. You drive along, you drop the first bale and you close it back up again, drive along another piece, and then you can drop the second bale. So I think because there's so much space, that'll be a nice little feature for it. The first thing we're going to work on today is the pickup reel and a little servo to raise and lower the pickup reel. My plan to lift the pickup reel is to mount one of these small little servos in this cavity in here. Now, we should be able to connect that then to the pickup reel using just some fishing line or something that won't stand out too much, and hopefully we'll be able to lift it just a little bit so that it'll fall back down. So we need to attach the fishing line to the pickup reel some way, so I'm just going to drill a hole around about this area on both sides so that we can put the fishing line through it and connect it to the servo. I have the servo just pushed in to the space up here, and I have some fishing line to connect the servo to the pickup reel here. So if we change the position of the servo, it should lift it. There you go, that's the up position, and lower back down again. That seems to work okay. So now we need to take the baler apart and see if we can mount the servo in there more permanently. Well, now that we know where we need to mount the first servo, we'll take the model apart and see can we get access to the upper half of the model here so that we can add some sort of mounting for this. We have a couple of screws in here. We'll take them out. I don't think they're going to give us much access, but we'll see what we see after that. Okay, so that just takes that panel off. That's kind of useful. Do the same on the other side. That's given us a little bit of access, but we're still not open to here. So a couple on the bottom here, so we'll try them. Taking that out, we can pretty much see that there is no way to access any of the space in here, so we might just have to work around that somehow. Everything else, there's 2 plastic moulded pieces that's holding on this front piece, so don't really want to take apart any of the moulded bits. That really seems to be as far in as we can get without starting to cut any of the rest of it apart. taking the reel apart, we can see the little catch here that holds the reel up. So obviously we don't want that catch there anymore, because our servo is going to be holding the reel up. So we'll cut that out of our way, and that will leave the movement of the reel that little bit easier. I've also noticed these pins just come out of here, in case anyone needs to work on those. The pins just slide out. It's fairly simple. There's the little groove that we need, and that just catches in there. So we can just cut that off. Now it pretty much matches. This side is pretty much the same as this side now, so that should go back together, and we should have nothing stopping our movement now. So now with that piece removed, we can see the reel will just slide up and down, no problem. Since there's no access up here, I'll drill a hole through here and just tap it for an M2 bolt, and then bolt a little fixture onto the servo to hold it in place there, and then we should be able to just screw back on the pickup reel here, and that should be it done. Now that I've tapped the hole, I was able to put in a little bolt, a little bit of wire to hold the servo in place there. It's pretty tight fit in this gap anyway, so it's not going to move. It's highly unlikely it's going to move. So now I need to decide where I'm going to put the microcontroller and drill a hole for that. I'm probably going to put the microcontroller in here, because that will be the easiest place to solder. So I'll probably just cut away some of this plastic, get it out of the way, and mount the microcontroller in here somewhere. I think I'll drill a hole here and run the wire up under this panel, because then I can mount the Arduino in here somewhere where I can solder it without too much difficulty. Because if I try to mount it in here, there's no room. I mean, you can't take any of the rest of this apart, so it'd be pretty difficult to solder the wires in there. So it would be better to mount the servos and run them through wires into here. So I just need to remove some of that plastic and mount it in there, and that'll also mean that we'll be able to just cover it over with the case here without too much difficulty. Okay, I have the servo mounted now and the fishing line attached to the pickup reel. I drilled the hole through the body here and ran the wire up and cut out a slot here for the microcontroller. So that should all work fine, and now we can test the pickup reel. So I'll just show you how much it moves. That's it fully up there, and back down. So quite a good range of movement from the pickup reel. That's the pickup reel finished. In the next video I'll look at the mechanism that's going to drop the bales and also lift this rear door on the baler. If you like this build, make sure and hit the like button, and if you want to see the rest of the build, make sure and subscribe so you don't miss out on that. If you have any questions on this build so far, you can either post them below or shoot over to the forum and ask your questions there, and I'll try and answer them. That's everything, so thanks very much for watching.